about it because we live it, and we understand it because we've been there before. I'm your host, Money Mac, Pretty Boys Champ. Second King, D. Lamar.
Peace.
Complete the Crown, Tyson, Area 51 Porter.
What up?
Now, see, let me get my shit together. Okay. So, it brings me just great pleasure. I've known this young woman, and I'm gonna say young because we all young here. I've known this young woman for 20 plus years.
Come on now.
I mean, grew up. You know what I mean? She went to a different high school, shittier high school than me, but it's cool.
Damn!
Oh, come on now. I'm not even gonna trip. I don't even hold that against her, okay? But she is a graduate of the Ohio State University.
Clap that up.
Yes, hey.
Okay. From there, she is a entrepreneur, property manager, real estate owner. But that wasn't her passion. Her passion was in food and cooking. So then she went to Columbus State University and earned her baking and culinary degree there. I would like to introduce you to one of the sweetest women I know. Cooks the sweetest treats I know.
Can't wait.
Miss Tamieka Cobb, Chef Mika.
That's
Hey.
it.
Clap it up.
Thank you.
For sure. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here. Very.
Okay, I've talked enough, so microphone check, whoever wants that.
You know, just like Champ just said, don't make it 20 plus years, but very driven individual. Sweet as pie. Sweeter than the treats that she brings to us. 36 Sweets, by the way, is the name of the business.
Yes.
She has a beautiful cookbook, Chef Hacks, for the holiday edition, and things you want to see. So please buy that. Is it on Amazon?
Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble.
Yes.
So we got the cookbook here for you guys to see, but just driven.
Link in the comments so you don't have to go for it. Just click the link and get the book.
Website, whatever.
Make some nice sweets for the holidays coming up. Christmas, got you. Taken care of.
But we were talking last week about ways to improve or help the Black community. The first guest that we wanted to have on the show is you, because you're so amazing to us. We've seen your ascent, your growth as a professional, as a person, into the very successful chef that you are today. So, we wanted to hear if you could come and talk to our audience about what it is to be a business person, a businesswoman, being Black, and just ask you some questions about, your career and your humble beginnings. So I want to see what you got to say.
Well, first off, thank you for being here. It is a
Thank you.
pleasure. I can't wait to eat that. I'm looking at that thing like,
Lord have mercy.
I don't know if I'm going to make it to the show.
You might not.
My goodness. But, man, Chef Hacks, y'all need to get this. All right? We talked a few weeks back about the way to the man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah.
Y'all need to pick this up. So let's get into it so I can get into that.
For sure. All right, so we about to get, you heard my man, get the book. If you want to get a good man like to eat after he work all day, so make sure you get the book. At this time, get into interview form. D. Lamar,
Hey.
take it away.
Like I said, we want to highlight a Black business person. Somebody that we thought could bring a lot to our community. Like I said, you don't got to be Black to watch this show, because we're all about growth. We're all about learning and educating one another. So, first person I thought of, most acclaimed person. So let's get right into it. So, what made you want to start your own business? Let's just start there.
It's kind of crazy because I went to college, going to the Ohio State University, with the intention on, graduating, getting a good job, and just having a career, moving up the ladder, corporate ladder, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. I ended up stumbling upon starting a business. I started my catering business in 2006. And the way I started it was kind of crazy because I used to always do on New Year's. I would invite everybody over. I think I invited you guys a couple of times.
Buddy, that
New Year's parties, and I would do like buffets for New Year's and invite everybody over. Like, everybody bring the drinks. I got the food and lay it out. Seafood buffet or whatever. And my homegirl Kia, I always give her credit. One year she came over. I think it was in 2005, and she was like, "Mika, you should be a caterer." And I was like, yeah, you're right. I probably should. So I kind of stumbled into it, and that's how it started. I ended up just kind of like feeling my way through. I had no idea about how to start a business, what to do. I didn't know anything about catering, about pricing, I wasn't a chef at the time. I just knew I knew how to cook. I didn't really know anything else, and it just kind of evolved from there.
So did you always had a joy for cooking? Because, yeah, you did have those parties, and money to be there. Because we knew it was going to be good food, good dessert, and definitely good drinks and company.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never missed the party.
I come for the shrimp skewers.
Right.
So, when did you feel like you wanted to cook, though? I mean, I never even asked you that. I mean, I just come over like, man, damn. Mika always got a spread.
Right.
I'll tell you. What was that? Fiesta Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And I still got pictures of that.
Yes.
Y'all played Notre Dame.
Yep.
This is when Brady Quinn still played.
Yep.
Back then.
Yep.
She had that party at her crib. That's when I was like, man, I got to come over to Mika's house every time for a party.
I mean, I actually started cooking at a very, very young age. I started cooking at like 8 years old. Like, I started then, and then it just kind of progressed. Like, my parents, were always in the kitchen. My mom, for sure. We grew up with my grandpa. He helped raise us as well. And my grandpa's from the South. He's from Dublin, Georgia. And my grandfather cooked all the Southern food. So, I learned how to clean greens and make pots of beans and cornbread and hoe cakes and all that stuff. Like, at a very early age. He made pound cakes. His sister sold pound cakes. So that's where I learned my 7-Up pound cake recipe. Look at money. He's already in. So that's where I started baking and everything. My mom, I grew up with a large family. So my mom, she did not buy desserts from the store. She always made everything from scratch. Yeah. So I would see her in the kitchen doing stuff from scratch, and that's how I learned. Like, most of the recipes, like the recipes in the book, you'll see, if you see a name on the recipe, that's one of my family members that I got that recipe from.
Really?
So yeah, like my Aunt Breen, I got a couple of recipes from her, and then my mom, there's a couple of her recipes in her, and my grandma, there's recipes of hers as well.
So in the book, you actually give credit to your family for the recipes that are in there.
Yeah, the ones that they came up with, absolutely. And the cool thing about the book is that what Chef Hacks means is basically there's a lot, especially with baking, because I'm a pastry chef by trade, even though I do a lot of cooking and catering. But with baking, people don't understand that baking is a science. Cooking is an art. You can go throw a little of this, throw a little of that, a little extra salt, a little extra sugar, whatever you want to do. You can't do that in baking. You have to literally follow it to the T. But the problem is that most recipes do not have all the steps. I know that sounds silly, but if you've ever tried to bake something and it failed, that's probably why, because there's little nuances and things that pastry chefs know that aren't listed. So what I did is I added the Chef Hacks, is basically the extra stuff that is not in the normal recipes to help people actually make it right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Heather does, because she likes to bake too. Mm-hmm. She always tells me, like, man, it's science.
Yes.
You got to put this amount, and it has to be right, or you're going to wind up not.
No substitutions, no nothing. You can't do it.
Yeah. Just get to it. What actually did you bring for us today?
Okay, so my absolute all-time favorite dessert is peanut butter mud from the chocolate bar in Cleveland. So I've been in Cleveland the past couple of weeks, some family business. And I got to go to the chocolate bar. Ironically, I stayed at the Hyatt Regency, did not know that the chocolate bar is literally attached to the Hyatt Regency.
You was in heaven over there.
Listen, I went to the front desk and it was like, everything's about to close. I'm like, hey, is there anything open around here? He was like, oh, if you walk through the arcade, the chocolate bar's right. I was like, the chocolate bar, what? I'm like, oh, I'm on, like, so I'll go beeline over there. It's the peanut butter mud is what it's called. Exactly. And so when I had it, the first time I ever had it, first couple times, I was just so excited to have it. This time I said, no, I'm going to take my time and eat this because I'm going to figure it out. So this is my replica of the peanut butter mud from the chocolate bar in Cleveland.
Okay. So, passions for wanting to cook and be in the culinary industry come from a very young age.
Yeah.
That's what drove you to start your business.
Yes.
What did you do before?
Everything.
Became, and we know this. I would love for you to tell the people, but this is why you're such a special guest, because, like I said, it's your drive.
Yeah.
And us as black people, many of us do okay, but when you hear about a success story from one of us and the lengths that we've gone through, the ability to drive yourself regarding of the circumstances is what some people need to hear.
Yeah.
So maybe they need to step out on something and try something and start their business so that they can help someone else.
Oh yeah. It's my journey has been long. So I graduated high school with a 4.3.
Let's go.
Wow. Got to college.
She said bacon is a science.
Scientist.
Yes, I graduated high school with a 4.3. I'm like, I would consider myself damn near a math genius.
Okay.
But by the time it was my time to go to college, I went to college at 17. When it was time for me to go to college, I was fucking tired of school. Like, I went hard in the paint, straight A's almost my full entire 12 years of school. And I was tired. So I got to college and I said, you know what? I'm not taking anything real hard. College itself is not easy. I decided to major in interior design. So I actually have a bachelor's degree in interior design. So if you see where I'm at now, what I started with, this is about to be a roller coaster. Just me telling y'all the journey to get to where I'm at. So bachelor's degree in interior design. And then I got most of the way through college and realized that I probably wasn't going to be an interior designer. So I'm like, what do I do next? And the easiest thing to do was to start in retail. So I started in retail. I did a couple of retail management internships. Rolled that into working at rental car places. I worked at rental car places at the airport, but that's a sales job. A lot of people don't realize you get a lot of sales experience from doing rental cars. And I made good money, like really good money doing that. And I'm like, all right, I need to get into something else. Like, what do I need to get make a career move. And I kind of wanted to get into real estate. So I started off as a property manager for an apartment complex. Blew that out the water, got it 100% leased. They moved me to another property, blew that out the water. And now I'm bored. So what do I do next? So I went from being a property manager. I wasn't quite ready to go into real estate, but I actually ended up being able to get into liquor sales. So
I remember that.
Yes, those were the days.
Them was you don't understand. Them was the days. Them bottles used to come through.
I'm telling you.
I brought the party every time. So it was. We had some wild days and nights. All of us, man. Listen, that was.
Like a dude in the alley that sell guns. You pop the trunk open. You just go to her car. She be like, go in the trunk. You pop the trunk open. It's like. Pull back the velvet and it's like all these rolls of bottles.
No, listen, no. Exaggerating. There's actually when you work for a liquor distributor, there's actually a liquor license for you to be able to carry open bottles. So I would have, in the company I worked for, we had all of the popular liquors. I ain't giving nobody no free advertisement. Y'all have to pay these brothers for me to say y'all names.
Hey.
But we had all of the popular brands that popular artists, are a part of. I introduced a lot of those brands into the market. So it was crazy working for the liquor distributor. Moved on from that, and I was like, what do I do next? Real estate. Went back to school, got my real estate license.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Amazing.
But everything that you've done, you've excelled to the highest level.
You got to.
And that's what we want for our children. That's what we want for. It doesn't matter if you're 40 years old right now. If you got a business plan, you want to drive yourself, you got to jump out on some kind of faith.
Yeah.
And every time you did this, you were jumping out there.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like if I'm gonna be a salesperson, I gotta sell the biggest things there are to sell. So real estate, did really well in real estate, but I came in 2010 when the market was down. So I thought I was failing. I'm an overachiever. I thought I was failing by only selling 8 or 10 or 12 houses in a year. But at that time, people that had been in the business for 20 years weren't selling 8 or 10 houses. So I'm just comparing myself in my head to myself, not realizing I was doing a damn good job. So I jumped back out, went and got a sales job, did very well at the sales job, excelled, top, I had top 100% customer service scores, everything, best salesperson in the region, all of that. And then I'm like, man, I hate this shit. What am I doing next? Okay, I still like sales. Sold cars, y'all, cars. I sold cars.
I came up off of Mika twice.
Yes, exactly. So I did, and I sold your brother his car too. So I mean, I did well. I wasn't the top salesperson. It's because I didn't have any passion for it. And I literally walked into my boss's office one day when I was working at the car dealership. Strolled in there, and I was like, Jim. He's like, what's up, Tamika? What's going on? You got a deal? What's going on? And I was like, it's been real. He was like, are you quitting? I was like, I think I am. Yeah. And he just looked at me real weird. He was like, well, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. But I figured it out. I went full time with my business. So during that whole time, when I was doing all those different jobs, I was always doing my catering part time in the background. So it was never not a thing for me to do the food. And I realized, once I knew that I did not want to do sales anymore, that there's no reason for me not to do my business full time. And I should have enough confidence in myself at that point to just step out there and do it. And that's how I got to, started the journey where I'm at. That was, 5 years ago now, 5.5 years.
Wow. Did you have to get some kind of credit or funding or things for you to get something to get behind you to really start your business? Or did you have all your own?
I started with $0. I literally just, one day I had one of my homeboys was doing an event. He was launching his photo studio. And he said, I know you're trying to start your catering business. Do you want to cater my event? He was like, I know, we know a lot of the same people, but then people will get out there and know that you do food. And I was like, sure. So I catered. That was the first event I catered. It was August 1st, 2006. I'll never forget that.
Wow.
So catered his photography launch, and it was all she wrote from there.
So it was basically your network initially that built you up and built your clientele.
Yes.
Okay. What you guys think about that, man?
It's impressive. What I'm hearing right now is through the roof impressive.
Thank you.
Man, what's been one of the hardest things about working for yourself? Because a lot of times you stepped out on faith, like you said, at your previous job before you went full time.
Yeah.
You had a good position. I mean, many of us work 9 to 5s and are content, but maybe you're not happy.
That's it.
So, what's been the hardest thing about working for yourself?
I think one of the hardest things for sure is staying motivated, because most people working a 9 to 5, you got an alarm clock to wake you up every morning to tell you what time to get there, what time to clock in. When you get there, you have somebody telling you what you need to do for the day. Even if you have a liberal job where, you kind of form your own day or make your own schedule, you still have guidelines and standards to tell you what to do. I don't have that. So in order for me, if I don't show up, I don't make money. But it's like, show up and do what? If I don't, it's like, all right, if I need marketing done, I got to do marketing. If I got an event, I need to cook food, I need to cook food. If I have, got to do my social media to make sure that I got people thinking about me and ordering, I got to do that. Okay, I'm doing the sales. So now I got to, there's so many different things you have to do. And there's literally some days where I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing none of this shit. And I just stay in the bed or go to the gym or just do what I want to do. But I have to make sure that in some kind of way I stay regimented and that I stay on my shit. Because if I don't, it's easy for 3, 4, 5, 6 days to go past and ain't nobody telling you not to do it.
So you have to have your own amount of self-discipline.
Yes, that discipline is so important.
Because you can be your own, you can make yourself a failure by self-sabotaging.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, man. That kind of leads me into another question. Like, what have been some pitfalls that you've run into while running your business? people trying to take advantage of you or things like that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's hear about some of that. Let's get a little juicy with it.
Yeah, let's get a little.
You know what I mean? Like, what's some pitfalls, between being a black business owner and being a business owner?
Right. I mean, and being a woman in the businesses that I've been in, like I've had good experience in male-dominated industries. And a lot of people wouldn't think of the culinary world as a male-dominated industry because, historically or stereotypically, women are supposed to be in the kitchen, that type of thing. So we kind of think that this is not a male-dominated industry. But actually, professional chefs and people that have food businesses professionally are mostly men. That's just how it is. So female chefs in general are not respected at all.
So that's why when I go out to most of these places, most of this food is nasty.
That might be it. That might be it.
All making sense to me now. Stay conscious, everybody.
It's like the
right. Stay conscious, everybody.
So silly.
But it's hard to, as a black business owner especially, and then being a black woman. Like they said, when they said that the black woman is the most disrespected and the least respected, of any other races, all of that type of thing. I don't know what the exact quote is.
Are you right on point?
But it's true. It's definitely true. Like I've had situations where, for one, as a black business owner, it be your own people sometimes. They, and people always complain and say, oh, well, black people always want something for free. It's true. People want a discount. And then our own people, this is my biggest problem, and I've seen this with this, I'm trying not to say names because I know I don't want to call people out, but there's a huge business group that was created in Columbus on the social media, like to, kind of promote black-owned businesses and things like that. And what I see a lot is that our people don't respect us. They respect us even less than how others do, like, people of other races and everything else. So rather than respecting the fact that we're just as high quality, like my food is just as good as whatever so-and-so restaurant, you can go to a famous owner restaurant or whatever, my food is just as good. Maybe, let's say this black business owner over here doesn't necessarily have a brick and mortar, maybe they just have a food truck or they just have a carry out or just have this or that. That makes them no less than this other place over here with this big 10,000 square foot restaurant. And we don't respect that business owner over here with the black business owner with the small, the very small business. And then we want to discount them and say, oh, well, I'm not paying you $25 for your plate, but this food ain't as good, but I'll pay them $50 to sit down in their restaurant. And it happens all the time. And that's the biggest thing. Then you also have those who do see your value.
Okay.
You have other business owners that are doing better than you, have more money than you. I've had restaurant groups come to me and say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to build that, we're going to do all these things for you, we're going to put you in this restaurant, we're going to build it out for you, and you're going to take your concept and do your thing, and your customers, and we're going to make all this money, and then here's the catch, we're going to pay you a salary, and we'll give you a little piece of the action. Literally, somebody told me this. So you're going to give me like 5 or 10% ownership in my own shit,
right? And
then pay me a salary and expect me to shut up, and then the salary you want to give me is less than what I'm already making for myself.
Oh, that's why.
Like,
let's take your whole idea,
right,
and do it, and then just pay you a little bit.
I want to put that out there because there's sharks out here in these waters, and that's exactly what they do, and they prey on you. I was just literally just had a situation like this happen to me, and I had to walk away abruptly, knowing that I didn't have anything on the other side. I put all my shit that I had built on hold to do this because these people had gaslit me into believing that I was going to be basically put in a situation that I can't put myself in right at the moment. I'm almost there, but not quite. And I lost a lot. I made money, but I lost so much more. I lost so much more earning potential, especially during COVID. I'm turning a profit during COVID when everybody else is shutting down. But I put myself in a worse position by taking on a potential deal that I thought was going to be a deal because somebody was trying to take advantage of me and use me as a cash cow. And I had to walk away. And so now I'm like, okay, what's my next move? But that's the catch, though. You always have to have a next move. And if you don't have one, you got to be thinking about it, working at it, trying to figure out what that next move is. I can't let myself get discouraged and say that there's no way out of this. So as a black business owner, you're going to constantly, business owner period, but as a black business owner especially, it's popular right now to be a black business. It's popular to support black people. You know, Black Lives Matter and everything.
So they're cashing in on that.
Oh, they are. Oh, they
And
definitely are. They
We
doing it.
watch TV now. There's so many black TV shows,
Yeah.
and I'm like, when did this happen? When I used to question, how come I don't see myself on these commercials? Now they're there.
Now you do.
Yeah, so they're cashing in on that.
And it's like, it's not necessarily a
Image.
bad thing, but right, it's the image. When this group came to me, and I didn't go to them, I was looking for a space for my catering company. When they came to me and promised me all of these things, I found out in the end that it was literally just so they could have a black chef under their umbrella, to be able to say that they have one, because they don't have any. And it just, I mean, it kind of devastated my business. It hurt my brand.
Okay.
You know, it kind of devastated me. You know, you fall into this entrepreneurial depression, and that's a real thing. But at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna come out victorious. You know, I have faith, and I'm gonna just keep pushing through. Like, there is no stopping. Like, failure is not an option.
That's what's up. Wow, man, you hit on a couple of things that I'd like to have we can react to. Remember, we were having a conversation, me and the fellas, about that, about us not valuing our own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I think is very true.
Yeah.
You know, you always want a deal from somebody you know or somebody who looks like you, but you'll go and pay $1,000 for a pair of shoes from somebody who don't like you.
Right.
But hey, it's $25. How come I can't get it for 10? Why don't you support me, man? Fuck you. They'll say stuff like that to you, treat you bad.
I get that.
We can't do that to each other.
I've definitely had somebody tell me that they wouldn't pay my price, and I said, well, that they could go to Walmart. That was I've heard that a lot of times. Well, I mean, I could go to Walmart and blah blah. I said, well, maybe, and you know what, business owners, I'm telling you, do not be afraid to walk away from people like that. Those are not your customers. They are not your customers. They are not your customers. I can say that 1,000,000 times. They're not. That little $25, $30 or whatever that they was gonna pay me for that cake, and they wanted to go to Walmart and pay 10 or get me to charge them 10 like Walmart. Fuck them.
Right.
Like, literally, I see my business owner friends on social media complaining about things and this and that and what people have done to them, and every single time, my comment, fuck them. That's my comment.
Right.
It is. Those aren't your customers. Move on. Just keep walking. But they will continue to disrespect you, and just walk away, because the people that see your worth, they will come along and they will pay your price.
That's it, man. You know, and it's like, that's the thing that we're trying to do. We're trying to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we can't do that to one another. We have to support one another. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you go to McDonald's every day and you spend your little money, but then when you come to me, you want it, instead of $10, you want to pay $5.
Mm-hmm.
Pay the price. Right. You're going to get something that's better, and you're going to support your own.
Right.
We got to get out of that mindset of always looking for a deal from somebody you know. If it's somebody that's close to me, I don't want a deal. I don't even want it for free. Right. I want to pay you because I want you to grow. And in turn, that's going to bring somebody else to you that's also going to want you to grow. And we're growing ourselves.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, when the whole when COVID first happened, and then Black Lives Matter, and, you know, George Floyd, everything happened like one behind the other like that. One of the things that amongst me and a lot of chefs here in Columbus, we started doing is always buying each other's shit.
That's what's up.
And when I tell you, I ain't never had more money flowing through my hands. Like, when they say cooperative economics is the thing, like, it is so freaking true. Like, when I have my one friend, he was making like hard lemonade, and he has a smoke company. And so shout out to Jesse. What's it?
Shout him up?
Yeah, Smoke Signals Up Barbecue in Columbus. He's dope. And like, I would go and spend like $30, $40 every single time, you know, he had some stuff up there. But then every single time I had my food out, he would come and buy mine. And then we got another friend, Jean-Vier Creole to Go. She would have hers, and I'd go buy her stuff. And then she would come back to me and buy my hibachi. And then I would go over to this one and go over to that one. And they would come back to me and buy, you know, and the money just stayed in the circle.
It's like a financial ecosystem.
Right. I mean, and that's what other cultures do it. Like, think about, you know, these blessing looms and all this crazy shit that ain't even really real.
Man,
like,
I've never heard of that. The gifting. You heard about the gifting circle?
Look at
have you heard of that?
Ain't nobody gave me shit, so
Right.
tell me about it. You
can tell
But that's
me
a
about
blessing
it.
loom. It's the exact same thing. It's a triangle.
Yes.
It's a pyramid scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme. They willing to put $400,000-$500,000 whatever into these pyramid schemes, and people supposed to get them back all this money. It's like, how about you give me $500 to cater your event, and then when you have something, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna spend my money with you. That's the blessing loom right there, you know. So I'm hoping that people can start understanding if we. Okay, let me back up a little bit. So the thing that's also crazy is that a lot of Black people have a problem with accepting things from people that are outside of our race. So here's the problem. Think of a Chinese beauty shop. Chinese beauty shop. 99.9% of their customers are not Asian. You know, let me say Asian, I apologize.
Right.
That an Asian beauty shop, 99.9% of their customers are not Asian. But what they do is that money they make from that beauty shop, they take that money and they spend it amongst their own. Everybody's money is green. You want black, white, red, blue, and purple customers.
Right.
But you want to take your money and as often as possible spend it with your people. And that's how you grow the money. If you only circulate the money that you have, you never grow it. You can only grow it if you bring money in from the outside. So that's one of the big things that I'm trying to put it out there in the ether so people understand it, because I've noticed in some of these business groups and stuff that are referring people, it's all great, but then when a white person jumps in a group and asks questions, everybody jumps on them.
Right.
First of all, they don't understand our culture, so they might ask a question that's a little off, but they're trying to spend their money with you. Let them spend it. Yeah. Let them spend their money, and if you take the money they give you, and you give it back to your people, that's the way to go.
And I agree with that, and because even when Black unity, Black empowerment, and this progress thing we're talking about, a lot of people who are on that say, well, if it ain't somebody Black buying from me, I don't want it. I say, man,
why not?
Why not?
You
have a business.
Yeah.
The money has to circulate. You just put it back into your own. That's all you have to do.
That's it.
That's what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they grow.
Think of the corner stores.
Come on,
They come in our neighborhoods, and 99.9% of their customers are us. And guess what they do? They don't live in our neighborhoods. Have you ever seen anybody that owns one of those corner stores live in our neighborhoods? It's very few and far between. But they'll dap you up and my nigga and all that stuff, and y'all let them assimilate into our culture. But then they take their money and they go back out to their suburbs, to their people, circulate it, send it back to their countries, and they don't spend none of it with us.
DJ Vlad.
There it is.
Talked about that.
Yeah, and nobody looks at those things, and yet we still want to try to block everybody out. They coming and giving us money. Be like, I don't want your money. Nah, I don't want to. Let me tell you, I have so many customers and so many corporate places, and all different types of people. Like people I've networked with over the years. I have friends in all different types of circles. I will take anybody's money that's green. Like it doesn't matter who it is. I will take it if you are not like money launderer and I'm not going to get caught up in a scheme or something. Right. Other than that, if you want me to cater for you and it's worth my while and it's with my business, let's do it.
Wow, man. That's
right. So, Chef Mika, put it down for us today, man. Conscious by Nature.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a more, lighter subject. You guys always want to be so serious.
I mean, it's conscious by nature,
Yeah, that's why y'all got me here, man. Y'all need me. Hey, Tom, man, tell me something I need to know about my relationship. I mean, I don't know. Something. What do I need to know?
Well, a while back we talked about food and how important that is into a relationship with a man. I want to just get your thoughts on that. I know we live in a society now. It's not cool for women to cook for their man anymore.
Yes, it is.
Speak on it then, man.
Listen, I mean, honestly, I think that if you know how to cook, or if you buy the cookbook, Chef Hacks, on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and you learn how to cook, shameless plug. I mean, I think that the things,
link in the description.
I think that that's one of those things that it's almost like gifting yourself to your man. Like, I feel like that's a big thing to me. Like, I think a lot of guys that I've dated will think that, oh, she just be cooking for everybody because she a chef. No, I barely cook for myself at home. Like, seriously, like, I hate to cook for myself at home. I will go out to eat in a hot split second, or if one of my homegirls cooking or something, like, what you cook? You know, like, and I'm going over their house and they're scared to cook for me. Oh, you're a chef. I'm like, listen, my out at the restaurant chef taste buds are totally different from my sitting in somebody's crib chilling taste buds. That's two different sets of taste buds. I mean, whatever you put on my plate, you know, like, but honestly, like, that's a special thing for me. Like, if I actually cook you a dinner, like, specifically for you, like, yeah,
Special.
yeah, I like you. I don't just do that for everybody, and I think that women should do it more often. I think it's one of those things that you can actually put yourself into that man. You know what I mean? You can offer him something that somebody else can't offer him. Nobody's gonna cook it like you. You know, they always say nobody's gonna do it like me. Like, nobody's gonna cook it like you, and I think that it's a way to show appreciation.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
that was real. Listen to what this woman got to say. Put some on the plate for your man, please.
You know what? Let me tell you how good this is. I'll show you how good this is. Now,
The slow smoke.
The slow burn.
I almost ate all of that shit. And I know I'm not supposed to be eating that. Like, you training, you doing that, man. I'm about to go do cardio tomorrow. Relax.
It's got peanut butter. Peanut butter got protein.
See? She's looking out for me already. My wife, she cooks for me.
Oh yeah, Saida gets down.
She does. Now, there's been some times where the chicken was a little dry.
Oh my God!
Damn.
You're going to edit that out.
No, that's going on there. That's going on there. That's going on there. But what I want to say is, in a relationship, I feel like a man should be honest about things like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, if she be like, baby, how's the chicken? I'm like, oh, it's delicious, it's great. She gonna turn around and cook it like that again the next time.
Right, and you just gonna get frustrated and start resenting her ass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I be like, it's good, baby, but it's kind of dry for your boy, you know? And it's water. You know what I mean? Man? But has that ever happened to you where someone said you've been in a relationship and they didn't enjoy one of your meals? And how did you take it?
Well, you know my mantra when somebody is complaining, fuck them. No.
Even if the chicken is dry, it's so fun. Like, I mean, hold on.
No, listen, I'm a chef, but I definitely failed at plenty of things, in the kitchen. It's happened. It's rare, but, it happens. No, I think that you definitely want to be honest, because that's a mantra for a lot of different things in a relationship. So let's say we're talking about food, because I'm a chef, but honestly, if she don't do it in the bedroom right, you tell her it's okay, and then you just be resenting it and thinking like, oh man, I wish she would do that different. Same thing with cooking, I wish that food didn't taste like that, because all it takes is for some little hood rat to come along to make that real nice juicy chicken. And you're going to be doing something you ain't supposed to do. Like, I think it's like, you got to communicate that on any level of anything in your relationship. If it's not how you want it to be, say something. And if you have a partner that cannot take constructive criticism and cannot communicate like an adult, then that might not be the partner for you. You should be able to have those conversations, and they might get a little, feel a little some type of way, or whatever, but y'all should be able to work through that. And I've definitely had, I had one guy that I dated. He lived in Cleveland. He would come all the way down to come visit. It was a long distance relationship. And he actually brought his homeboy and his homeboy's girl over to meet me. We have a dinner together at the crib, and I'm cooking. And a lot of times, like, if I have a big catering event, I'll have stuff left over, and I'll, just make the same thing I made. I'll just make it over again fresh. And so I made, I think I did grilled some chicken, some jerk chicken thighs, some baked macaroni and cheese, some cabbage, like, a bunch of stuff. This motherfucker was like, I don't like chicken thighs. I only like chicken breasts. And I really got offended. Like, nigga, he was like, and this the stuff from your event you catered. Wow. I was like, what? And I was mad for a second, but I got over it. But at the same time...
Oh, you's a picky motherfucker, huh?
Right. But at the same time, it's like, I'm supposed to be cooking, like I said, something special for him and his friends coming over, not pulling the leftover shit I got out of my fridge and using that. And if he don't like chicken thighs, he don't like chicken thighs. I mean, shit. You know?
I don't like how he came at it.
No, I mean, he was,
I understand. I understand.
you know, I mean, he definitely got cussed out after his people left. I ain't even, you know, while his people was there, I respected it. But I was like, nigga, you could have said something before, you know. Like,
But I didn't know you was cooking chicken thighs.
That was the answer. And guess what? I never cooked him chicken thighs again.
You know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, but I think that's a metaphor for relationships in general.
Yeah,
For sure.
Communication, the biggest key in
Listen.
all aspects.
I've been terrible at it a lot, but I'm getting better.
Me too. It takes time to grow.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what that is. Tyson Porter, final thoughts.
I can't wait to get into this. Money been greasing this down. Yes. Oh yeah. I have no
Let's
more.
see. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, cut. Let's just run that one more time.
I'm done.
Dealing more, final thoughts.
You know, I'm just grateful that we were able to have you on
Yes.
the show. Get your Chef Hacks book. You know, support your local black business person. Support Mika 36 Sweets. Go to her website, check the links, and that's it. Get this book.
Yes.
It's a perfect gift.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Come on now.
Chef Mika,
Yes.
final thoughts.
Do it well. Go hard. Never stop.
Great words of encouragement. Great.
Episode 3, Conscious by Nature, everybody. Money Mac, Pretty Boy Champ. I'm the host. Thank you for joining us again. See you next week. New guests? Maybe. I'm thinking, I got somebody in mind. Leave me some comments, talk to me. Let me know what's going on, man. Love y'all. Next time. Stay conscious.
Peace.
Man, this is off the chain.
Nigga! Shit!